we officially have our new Scott Summers for the MCU X-Men. That's right, Cyclops has been cast. Not just that, Disney is exploring another theme park to movie adaptation. Although this time, theme park to TV show, maybe that'll fix all the problems that they had. And last but not least, Spring Break really is forever with a new sequel in the works. Folks, so much fun stuff going on in the world of entertainment. Welcome to Movie News Monday, where we talk about everything going on in Hollywood, from MCU to DCUs to all the U's. You know what it is. Go ahead, subscribe so that you can come back here and learn what's going on with the movies. As we jump into our first story of the day, folks, we have a Cyclops. And no, I'm not talking about the Christopher Nolan one. That's a giant puppet, although we do technically have that Cyclops too. Where is that Cyclops? Who gets to keep the giant puppet? Anyways, we have our Cyclops for X-Men, allegedly. Now, this could all change by the time the D23 rolls around and we have what we are expecting to be the big Marvel X-Men casting announcement. That being said, it looks like Kit Connor has been tapped to star as Scott Summers' Cyclops. Now, this is your spoiler warning for Spider-Man Brand New Day, as it will likely come up in the comments in the conversation. Leave now or forever be spoiled on something that everyone already knew. This is great news, given that we already know who is playing his love interest. And no, I'm not talking about Samara Weaving and Emma Frost, although they do technically date for a while in the comics. Of course, I'm talking about Jean Grey, with Sadie Sink portraying the titular Jean Grey, redhead, Dark Phoenix. This is great news for Kit Connor. One, there was some speculation that there's going to be like 35-year-olds in the mix for this character. Sadie Sink is 24 years old. I didn't want to see that dynamic. Kit Connor is 22. Kit Connor is also already in the mix with some of our other MCU Youngblood cast members, including Joe Keery, who he played against in Heartstoppers, and now he's going to be joining the X-Men and leading that team. There was a lot of speculation as to who was going to ultimately grab this role. Personally, I was rooting for Cooper Hoffman, but Kit Connor is definitely well suited for the role. Funny sort of connection that a lot of folks have been making that I actually think is great as well is Scott Summers is being played by somebody who portrayed Romeo in a contemporary Romeo and Juliet adaptation, and Jean Grey is being portrayed by somebody who portrayed Juliet in a different interpretation. So that's kind of a fun fact. But this is just the beginning of Marvel Mania, because like I said, we know who Jean Grey is, we know who Scott Summers is, we know who Emma Frost is, but who the heck is everybody else in this movie? Well, according to the Hollywood Reporter's Heat Vision blog, there is a lot of ramp up going on to get our X-Men cast. Allegedly, Asa German of Scream 7 and Amazon Prime's Gen V was testing for the role of Cyclops. He did not get that role. However, it is possible that he has been offered another role. Folks are speculating based on the jawline that perhaps he was offered the role of Nightcrawler or maybe the role of Angel. It's hard to know which rendition of the X-Men team they're going to go with. If they were going with the OGs, they would go with Angel. If they're going with some of the more recognizable ones, they'd go with Nightcrawler. Although it is confusing because Doomsday's coming out and we have a Nightcrawler and we have... Anyways, it'd be weird to me if they were lining up basically the same exact team, but there's a world where that's what's going on. Hollywood Reporter did also confirm that Cooper Hoffman was in fact in talks to play Cyclops. However, scheduling issues is the reason that didn't move forward, which, man, Cooper Hoffman, I don't know what you got on your radar, but I can't believe that a scheduling issue kept you out of being in a Marvel movie. That stinks. And then, of course, Professor Xavier, Charles Xavier, famously not British in the comics. Some non-British people are testing for the role, which is great. I know that Patrick Stewart is the perfect Xavier, but other folks are in conversation. Bill Skarsgård, who is Pennywise the Clown in It, has been championed around by some folks. Hollywood Reporter confirms that Christopher Abbott and Tom Pelphrey have both tested for the role. We know for certain that Tom Pelphrey didn't get it, but we don't know who did. Seems to be the question. And then, of course, the Adam Driver of it all. Sources are saying that Adam Driver has been cast in some villainous role, whether it's Magneto, Sebastian Shaw, Mr. Mr. Sinister, there it is. It's unknown at this point. However, there is one casting announcement that everyone is keeping an eye out for, and everyone is anticipating probably won't get announced as part of the X-Men, but instead as part of Black Panther 3, and that is, of course, the role of Storm. Now, notably so, this tweet from the Critics' Choice Awards, of all people, is talking about who is the rumored frontrunner. Jamie Lawson, of course, with her runaway role in Ryan Coogler's Sinners, is being rumored to have already been cast as Storm. Whether or not this is true or not, it seems to have been getting enough momentum and enough steam behind it that the Critics' Choice Awards feels confident in tweeting it out. Jamie Lawson would be absolutely excellent for Storm. She matches up with the age range that they seem to be putting everyone else in, and I think she's absolutely talented enough to run it. She also already did her time in the world of DC and got her DC Comics role out of the way too, so move on to collect those nerddom Infinity Stones. If you're trying to remember who she played the Mayor-elect in The Batman, in Matt Reeves' Batman movie, and I believe she's also going to be in Batman Part 2. All of that being said, out of all of these different news and scoops and speculations that are coming out regarding the X-Men cast, some people have been saying that Charles Melton has already been cast as Beast. However, the current news as of this evening, right before I went live, Charles Melton has allegedly dropped out of playing Beast, and it is sort of getting in the way of Marvel potentially announcing the X-Men cast as D23. It seems as though they were really excited to bring everyone on stage and have their big moment, but without the full cast, there's a question of whether or not they move forward with it. This scooper, Scoops R Us, says that they have to either convince him to return or find a replacement by D23. It would seem crazy to me that their choices are to get a backup plan or convince someone to change their mind just in time for the big convention to make an announcement. I would much rather they make the right strategic choice. You can just announce other people. You don't have to have them all. But this does kind of come from a couple different sources who are well regarded in the scooping space. Daniel Richmond also said that there's some issues. So who is it that's telling the truth? Who knows what's going on? At the end of the day, Jake Schreier and Marvel Studios are the only folks who know. But folks, in either case, I'm going to be very excited, and I am having the feeling that there's a bit of a resurgence in Marvel excitement right now, and that makes me super happy. I feel like we are back in like the early 2010s energy right now. Spider-Man, I think, just rejuvenated a lot of people's hype for the franchise. The X-Men are just so big, and I feel like people are really excited to see the X-Men portrayed in a more comic accurate, or even just more animated series accurate way. I think there's a lot of excitement for this cast and this world, and also, like, I don't know about you, but the closer we're getting, the more hyped I'm getting for Doomsday. All right, I'll say it. Maybe that's my hot take. I'm getting a little more excited for Doomsday. All that being said, success at the box office seems to not be the only thing that Disney is concerned about. In an investor call, Disney CEO Josh D'Amaro basically confirmed what we've kind of all come to understand and accept at this stage, which is that the box office is not the biggest winner for Disney, and they're not losing any sleep about lower numbers. On a call, D'Amaro said that even when our franchise films don't meet our box office expectations, as with Mandalorian and Grogu and Moana, our investments in these core properties fuel other parts of our company. Like I said, this is not a surprise by any means, and it's sort of what we've been talking about too when we were comparing some of the other major studios, talking about Warner Brothers and Paramount and how they're competing against Disney and Universal. Sure, the film and the television space does fund a lot of what they're doing, but it's the diversification of all the businesses that they're in, the entertainment venues, the theme parks, the merchandising, that really make that biggest difference. Speaking on Mandalorian and Grogu, D'Amaro said, Star Wars drove healthy growth in retail sales for the franchise and drew guests to the updated Millennium Falcon attraction at Disneyland and Walt Disney World, and led to significant engagement in gaming as well. And the live-action Moana is expected to be a strong title on Disney+, building on the success of the original film, which is one of the most streamed movies of all time. I do think it's fair to highlight, and hopefully this speaks truth to the direction that Disney's understanding the live-action movies and live-action remakes to really benefit them. And Mando and Grogu drove momentum to the theme parks, to the merchandising, to the gaming arm of their business. 3 different arms of their business. Moana live action, we are tracking that it's going to be successful on Disney Plus because the original is really successful on Disney Plus. So, yeah, and like Chad is saying, we make a movie so it can be a good ride, so it can be a good TV show, so it can be a good action figure. It's a self-fulfilling cycle, 100%. And Disney is aware of that. They say these franchise investments contribute to value creation beyond their theatrical release. Mando and Grogu opened with $81 million and went on to earn a total of $345 million worldwide. As a reminder, Spider-Man Brand New Day is, at the time of recording, sitting at $1.5 billion at the box office 2 weekends in. So $345 million is also significantly lower than the $1 billion that the prior Star Wars releases did. Live action Moana did modestly well, earning $262 million in a month. That being said, though the production budget was $250, it seems as though they're on track to lose about $100 million for that remake. All in all, the CFO of Disney says, "We aspire to deliver consistent financial results for our films, but the nature of this industry is such that it's more of a portfolio game." This is that self-awareness that I'm talking about. Good news for us is our diversified business helps us basically cover the volatility that comes out of the film business. The theatrical windows, in a lot of ways, is just one data point. And the real value of that IP is the cumulative benefit of decades-long storytelling and our ability to take that IP and lay it into the entirety of the Disney flywheel. Now, I know that some of us are hearing that and are thinking, oh my God, how has our creative industry gotten so corporatized that they're not even thinking about these as artistic endeavors and they're just seeing these as opportunities for merchandising and opportunities to diversify their portfolios. And yes, there's a portion of that is icky, and there's a portion of that is disappointing to think about. However, if I can challenge you to think about this in an optimistic lens, this is a company that is invested in creative storytelling and invested in characters and worlds and IP and franchises that clearly have motivated fandoms, whether it be your Disney movies, your Star Wars, your Marvel. And this is that company telling you, hey, you know what? If your movie doesn't do great at the box office, that's not the end of the world. You know, it's not going to have us panic and flip the script and completely lose our shit and go the wrong direction. And look, you can you can even flip this on its head and think about how Warner Brothers treated Zack Snyder during his take on the DC universe. However you feel about the Snyderverse, when Man of Steel didn't perform the way that it did, they panicked. When Batman v Superman didn't perform the way that they thought it would, they panicked. They pulled the plug. They shifted stuff around. Justice League, they pulled the plug before the movie even came out and brought in the dude who did the Avengers to reshoot the movie. There's been so many instances of some of these beloved IPs and beloved franchises getting the axe or getting just absolutely mishandled because the big corporate energy that sits at the top says, actually, it has to go down this way. So let me say, though it's not the best, it's certainly not the worst. And speaking on that entertainment pipeline, let's talk about this new surprise that Spaceship Earth is getting a TV series order on Disney+. Folks, Michael Waldron stays busy. Michael Waldron, of course, the writer of Loki, who's currently assisting writing on Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, is also partnering with Jason Fewes from It, Welcome to Derry, and 20th Century Television to develop a Spaceship Earth television series for Disney+. The show is going to follow when a mission to avert an imminent global cataclysm goes awry. A small band of teenagers from Earth's past and futures must join forces to confront a threat as vast and mysterious as time itself. Look, this definitely seems interesting, and I'll give them credit for doing it the right way and going the pilot route. I would love to hear more about Disney and Disney Plus exploring the pilot route for their upcoming work. I feel like this is just something they fully missed with the original launch of Disney Plus. We do not need to greenlight full seasons of television every single time. Just do a pilot order, get some people paid for a little bit, and decide whether or not you're going to move forward with it. I mean, this sounds fun, right? Like, it's a fun, like, teenage action sci-fi style show, and it's based on the big Epcot ball. Epcot's getting a lot of investment in it for Disney, and they're putting a lot of work into that theme park to get people more excited for it. And Spaceship Earth is, it's a big ball. It's a big ball. Why not? Why not put some lore behind the Epcot ball? Absolutely. So I have no idea if this will go forward, but Disney has tried time and time again to turn their theme parks into entertainment properties. Tomorrowland, I still stand by that movie's pretty good, but Haunted Mansion has had a couple movies. Jungle Cruise had a movie. There's allegedly a Tower of Terror movie in the works with Scarlett Johansson. I haven't heard about that in ages, so I don't know if that's actually still happening, but they're going to keep trying, and maybe this is a low-stakes way for them to try, because ultimately they could shoot the pilot and decide, yeah, that wasn't the right call, and move on from there. But hey, if you're not turning your theme park into movies or shows, you can make movies or shows about theme parks, unless you're Gareth Edwards. We have just heard the latest news for the Jurassic World franchise, which I guess we're just fully done with calling it Jurassic Park. I don't know why. Like, they had every right to go back to Jurassic Park after they finished the Chris Pratt movies, but sure, Jurassic World. We just learned this week that Gareth Edwards will not be returning to direct the next Jurassic World movie after he directed Jurassic World Rebirth? Lost Kingdom? Dominion? Rebirth, because this is the reboot of the reboot. That being said, it seems as though Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali are all expected to return for the next installment of the franchise. David Koepp, of course, who's been involved with many of these, has penned the most recent script. The studio says, we had an incredible experience working with Gareth on Jurassic World Rebirth, but of course, he will not be returning for that sequel. All of that to be said, it's not really a surprise here, because ultimately, throughout all of the Jurassic Park movies, whether it be Colin Trevorrow Gareth Edwards or insert director name here. There really are three people who are steering this ship, which is Steven Spielberg, Frank Marshall, and of course, David Kemp. Those are the three folks who have really been involved with driving the Jurassic franchise. And, you know, it's easy to sell dinosaur toys, man. I get it. It makes me sad how far we've come from Jurassic Park and how excellent of a film that is and how integral it is to just like filmmaking as a whole. Like, that is such a historic movie, what it did to CGI, what it is just as a movie in and of itself. It's so disappointing to see where we've landed with it, but I guess we'll see another one. I don't know. I saw Jurassic Rebirth. I couldn't tell you anything that happened in that movie, really. I think there was a baby Grogu. I think there was a baby Yoda style baby dinosaur, I think. It's just Now, folks, if you want your own stories submitted on to Movie News Monday, please come hang out in the chat and let me know what you want to talk about. This came from our friend in chat, John. Jacob Elordi has been tapped to star in Ari Aster's new Scapegoat movie. Now, we know very limited information about this movie. What do we know? 1, Ari Aster is the GOAT. 2, this movie is called Scapegoat. And 3, Scarlett Johansson is in it. Jacob Elordi is looking to star in this movie. Now, there has been some speculation that this film revolves around a sort of Jake Paul type. Could it be Elordi who is playing that character? Perhaps. There are some other random ass ideas about what this film could be. Some say it's a thriller about a doctor who operates on an internet famous person. That sort of Jake Paul idea. Others say it's a sci-fi romance, but some are saying it's just a traditional Ari Aster drama. There is nothing traditional about his dramas, okay? He puts out some great work. In either case, this is great. I am so happy for Jacob Elordi that he is fully past his Euphoria story and we'll never have to talk to him about that again, and that he's out of his sort of little rom-com world as well. Following Wuthering Heights and Euphoria, he did take a little bit of a break, and so he's coming back to acting for the first time in a little bit. I think a well-deserved break, let's be fair. He did Frankenstein, right? Wuthering Heights, Euphoria, that was a lot. Sure, we just saw all of those things last year, but, you know, he took a minute off to himself, which he definitely earned. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about Jacob Elordi as a performer, but I do trust Ari Aster, and I do think that Scarlett Johansson is phenomenal, and I love when she works in smaller movies. He's got great taste, such good projects post-Euphoria, 100%. I am fully on board with whatever this movie is going to be. Ari Aster can do no wrong in my heart, even though I haven't seen Eddington yet. But it's on my list. It's on my list. So chat, are we looking forward to Ari Aster's next movie? What do we think it's actually about? I have heard the Jake Paul Scapegoat, internet famous person has a botched surgery concept a few times. I'm thinking that probably has some weight to it. That being said, I would love to find out that this is some weird, crazy sci-fi movie. So yeah, why the hell not? I also just love the mystery behind what these movies could be. In either case, super great. And sticking in the world of small indie movies, sometimes they come back around in the most unexpected ways. Folks, Shake It Up's own Bella Thorne, Zendaya's former co-star Bella Thorne, will be writing, directing, and starring in a Spring Breakers sequel. This is a headline I could not have made up in a million years. She said if Zendaya can do it, why can't I? Hey, Zendaya hasn't directed yet, alright? So Bella Thorne beat her there. And where else to hear these news from but on the Bella Thorne Call Her Daddy podcast, which I did not listen to the podcast. However, Bella Thorne has revealed that Spring Breakers 2 will be her sophomore film. Her first directorial debut is Color Your Hurt, which is coming out soon. Now, I figured this would be much more fun for chat if I read this out loud to you rather than playing the clips. So please, entertain, if you will, my dramatic reading of Bella Thorne on the Call Her Daddy podcast. The producers watched Color Your Hurt, which is the movie that I just wrapped an early cut of, and they asked me to write something to see if they would like it. And they loved it. And now I'm writing and directing Spring Breakers 2. Spring Break forever, bitch. Let's go. We're working with the original team is back, so we're really excited about that. I don't want to get in trouble, but what I can say is it is so litty McTitties. I mean, from start to finish, it's lit as fuck. I love this. We have more. We're having fun. If you wanted to go to the theater and have fun, you're going to have fun with this movie. That's for sure. Yeah, it's balls to the wall. That's what everyone says when they read the script. Balls to the wall. And when asked if any of the original cast, James Franco, Selena Gomez, Ashley Benson, Vanessa Hudgens, Rachel Corrine, Thorne took a sip of her drink. So, look, I have talked about it on this stream before, but Spring Breakers is such a bizarre fucking movie, and it falls in such a weird time for me personally. I think it's technically not the first A24 movie because they co-distributed another film before it, but it is technically the first A24 movie. And I remember watching this movie and thinking, like, this opened my eyes to a completely different type of filmmaking altogether, because I was very much just a blockbuster and the occasional Oscar movie type of guy. Spring Breakers is wild. It's a wild movie. I haven't seen it since I saw it. I wonder if it holds up by any means. All of that to be said, this is certainly not the movie that I would ever expect to have a comeback. However, after hearing this, after knowing Bella Thorne's career and where she's gone so far, you know what? Sure. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Like chat says, this makes no sense, but it makes absolute sense. I think it would be crazy if they got the original cast to come back. They certainly don't need to. The whole premise of Spring Breakers is how much trouble can you get into when you go into a place where you allow yourself to break free from expectations and you believe that your actions have no consequences because you are in a different type of the world. And look, I think that there is a universe where Bella Thorne could actually have an interesting take as someone who has been through the challenge of thinking there's no actions to her consequences, who has gone through a party phase, who has lived through very iterations of stardom and celebrity and all these kind of things. I do think there's a world where she has a very interesting take on it. I don't have my hopes up, but I'm open to it. So chat, I would love to know, what random ass indie movie would you want to have a sequel, a random legacy sequel come out years later? We're treating it like a Disney IP. We're bringing it back. Next up, Spring Breakers and what was that movie, Zola? I want a Spring Breakers and Zola cinematic universe. I think they tie in. Zola, y'all remember the movie Zola? The movie based on the Twitter thread? Coleman Domingo's in that movie. I completely forgot. But folks, that's gonna wrap it up for us today here on Movie News Monday. This weekend is D23, so by the time that this video comes out, D23 will have just happened. And so, on that following Monday, we will be talking live on stream of what happened. So Monday, August 17th, make sure you tune in on Twitch so that you can see what's going on in the world of entertainment and Disney specifically. Will we have our Marvel cast? Will we have a Storm? Will we have Kingdom Hearts 4 news? Man, I really hope so. But folks, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're watching live, an extra thank you to you all for being part of the conversation. If you want to catch our content in short form, make sure you're following us over there on all the socials. But folks, I have been Joopy Gorg. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you at the movies. Bye, YouTube. Say goodbye to YouTube.